Hi everyone, it's Sunday night and I wanted to do a quick week 2 part 2 recap. I feel like I checked in a lot with you all over the weekend since we did our live broadcast, but there's some specific things I wanted to address after reading your participation activities, your journals, and your Padlet boards. I'm not through 100% of the work. I was actually not home at all this weekend. My kiddos were very busy, and I ended up with a sick one tonight. So I am trying to play catch up. But I really found a lot of important information I wanted to share with you, especially from the Padlet board on differentiation. You really shared a lot of personal experiences that you had in your own education. Many of you had positive differentiation, some of you had a lack of differentiation, and some of you really expressed the effects that it had on you. So here are some of the great ideas that you shared. First of all, more work. Oops, sorry, let's fix that right now. More work does not equal differentiation. More work equals more work. And usually more work means people are less motivated. So differentiation does not mean more, it means different. And that is differentiation means different choices. So finding the activities or the learning styles or the mode of learning that best meets your learners. Maybe that's reading level, maybe it's assignment, whatever it is, it's just different choices. And sometimes you choose and sometimes your students choose in a differentiated activity. A lack of differentiation will lower confidence and increase frustration. And this is a bad cycle. Anyone who's ever been there, when you are constantly failing and frustrated, you step away, you turn it off, and that's when we lose our learners. So that's why differentiation is so important, because it scaffolds learning that everyone's at the level they need to be on, and they're all finding success, and success builds confidence and builds motivation. So it's the cycle that we want to get on. Also, differentiation keeps learners engaged. Everyone's at the right level. So if you've ever worked on something that was too easy, you get bored and you tune out. If you've ever worked on anything too difficult, you get frustrated and you tune out. If you differentiate, everyone's on that right level, and so they're engaged and they're not tuning out. And this is a big one. I don't remember exactly. There were a couple people that posted this, but they said that they were quiet in school. And I know I have one of my daughters is very quiet, and some children will not ask you for help, even if they need it. So yes, it's good that you have your eyes open and you're watching, but sometimes people fall between the cracks. So we really want to make sure that we're checking in with students and you're having physical conversations and asking them, do you understand? What can I do to help you? I do try to model this in my course. I know we're not face to face, but I try to put it out there often. And it's hard. It's hard for me to connect with you one at a time, but I do try to do that in our comment section of the projects that you turn in or your participation journals. In your EduCanon video this week, I did the last question, said if you need any clarification or if you have more questions on an instructional strategy, let me know. And a lot of you did. So it's important for you to check in and offer. Sometimes you can check in, but if you don't offer assistance, they won't ask for it. Also, we need to remember that although the slide talked about linguistic, cognitive, and cultural diversity, there are other students that won't fall into those categories, but they still need differentiation. Sometimes that's in your teaching style, and sometimes it's in the output. I use that word output a lot, but it's basically the choices they have to show you what they've learned. Sometimes we say there's one output, but a good teacher, if possible, is giving several choices for output. And last, this is the biggest one, and this goes for teaching across the board. If what you're doing is not reaching all the children, then you need to change and try something new. Maybe it's working maybe you have 20 kiddos in your class and maybe 15 get it from whatever you did, your instructional method. But for those 5 that didn't, it is up to you to find a new way to teach it to them so they get it. And if that new way doesn't reach all 5 of them, you find a new way to try and reach them. And that's what teaching is about. If you've studied Finnish education, Teachers in Finland have a different model than we have here in the United States, and they're much more successful than we are. But they look at each child as an individualized case or puzzle, and they work collaboratively as groups of teachers. If a student is not getting something, they sit down, they try to figure out why, and they try to brainstorm how, and they keep working until they have the why and the how answered, and they don't give up, and they don't get shuffled with paperwork. And so this is a philosophy you need to adopt in your classroom, that if something's not working for a child, that you change it. It's not up to them to adapt. It's up to you as the teacher. Hopefully at this point you feel pretty secure about the information for the differences we have in learners. I know it's a lot of information this week, and please know that when I present something to you, and I do give you a lot of information, this is not a mastery level course. This is an introduction course, and I want you to walk away saying, I get it, I understand it, I have a general knowledge of it. Don't feel like you have to memorize the things in here. You always have resources as an educator. You don't have to constantly memorize these strategies and things. You can look up and get reinforcement. And also know that if you are jumping into a 4-year program, you will hear all of this again, and this foundation that I'm giving you will be a very strong base. I hear that time and time again from my learners that are transferring, how easy their transition went into other literacy courses because of this foundation. Don't get stressed out that you can't remember everything, because there's no possible way for you to remember everything that is new. So just know that this is your foundation. Okay, you want to get a good base. Now, there's three other kind of clerical things I'm going to go over. First of all, some of you mentioned that you wanted to use my PDF files and write on them and edit them. And if you don't know how to edit a PDF, I can make a quick video of how I do it on my Mac. I do it through Adobe, and like Adobe Reader. I think that would probably be mostly universal, even if you're not on a Mac. But if some of you were asking, if you'd like that, let's add that to our discussion board for the general discussion, or post it on Facebook. And if I get, a decent amount of people, a few people that think they can benefit from that, I will add that for you. Also, I wanted to just touch on the live meeting. If you didn't know, we had 2 live meetings using Google Hangout this weekend. I was super excited to try this because I really want to see you face to face, and I'd say it was about 50-50% successful. Saturday was kind of a flop. I know a couple of you tuned in, and I really appreciate that. But basically, I was talking to myself because everyone didn't know what they were doing on both ends. Sunday, we were a little more productive, and we figured out how to post questions. And I was able to tell you some information and answer some of your questions. And my goal for next time is to get people's faces on the screen, to add that video component. Again, I also might try that Facebook chat. I'm still waiting for, they have to approve our course. But I am going to do some sort of live broadcast on Wednesday night of this week, somewhere close to 9 o'clock. I apologize if this is late for people, but with my kiddos' schedules, we would not have a quiet space to hear each other if it wasn't at 9 or later. If you are not available Wednesday night, don't stress. I am going to try to squeeze one in this weekend. I'm away for the weekend, and I'm back Sunday. I'm away for Saturday. I'm back Sunday, but we have a stacked schedule Sunday. So I'm going to try to squeeze it in sometime Sunday afternoon for you. There is a slight option. I might be able to squeeze it in sometime Saturday, but I can't guarantee that yet. So just stay tuned for the weekend time. But definitely Wednesday night at 9. I'll try to rotate my nights for the evening. If we get into a routine of using these live chats, I'll try to rotate the nights. So if you have something Wednesday nights, that maybe you can catch it on a different night. And just I want to leave you with tonight that I want to be your cheerleader right now and pat you on the back. Right now, your participation is excellent. Keep up the good work. I do see learning happening. I have so many people asking good questions and growing. I can see it already, even though we're not together all the time. And people are adjusting to the format of the course. And I appreciate your patience in getting to know how I organize this course. Just hold on tight because we are diving into the exciting material starting this week. And you'll really look at specific instructional strategies to help those literacy learners that are the youngest learners this week. So have a good week, and we'll check in several times this week.